in the wake of the 2024 election, but still, under President Joe Biden's policies, Republicans are suddenly feeling a lot better about the state of the economy. So much so that overall consumer sentiment has ticked up, even though Democrats are feeling slightly less optimistic. But here's one thing majorities across the political spectrum can agree on. Donald Trump is threatening to make prices rise. Most Democrats, independents, and Republicans all expect inflation as a result of the tariffs Trump is threatening to impose on nearly all goods from China, Canada, and Mexico. That makes sense. By definition, tariffs are a tax on goods coming into the country. But Trump's ignoring all that because he's obsessed with tariffs. And I mean obsessed.
If you don't make your product here, then you will have to pay a tariff, a very substantial tariff. The word tariff, properly used, is a beautiful word, one of the most beautiful words I've ever heard. 100% tariff on every single car coming across the Mexican border. You're not doing business with the United States because we're going to put 100% tariff on your goods. I'm just notifying John Deere right now. If you do that, we're putting a 200% tariff on everything that you want to sell into the United States. Now, I'm putting a 200% tariff on, which means they're unsellable. The word tariff is a beautiful word to me. You go to war with another country that's friendly to us or even not friendly to us. You're not going to do business in the United States, and we're going to charge you 100% tariffs. Tariffs are the greatest thing ever invented.
Major U.S. retailers are warning tariffs are not the greatest thing ever invented. Executives from AutoZone, Best Buy, and even retail giant Walmart already sounding the alarm that these policies will mean higher prices for everyday goods. And look, while Thanksgiving dinner this year is more affordable than it's been in nearly 40 years, don't expect that to remain the same next year. Experts say your turkey and all those post-Thanksgiving condiments, from cranberry sauce to stuffing to ketchup and even mustard, are probably going to cost you a lot more next year. Joining me now is Professor Derek Hamilton, founding director of the Institute on Race and Political Economy at the New School, and an expert on wealth inequality. His idea for baby bonds was embraced by Senator Cory Booker and adapted into federal legislation. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Look, I want to start with this. I always enjoy talking to actual economists. They are the natural enemy of political scientists, so this is an important moment. The first thing that we talked about going into this segment is the idea that Republicans are now suddenly saying, I think the economy is great, because the candidate that they preferred won the presidential election. Can you just speak on that briefly? Because everybody out there who keeps trying to say that elections are driven by economic sentiment seems to want to ignore the fact that economic sentiment is driven by people's partisanship, isn't it?
Well, we make a mistake. Well, first off, thank you for having me, and it's great to see you, and it's been a while. We make a mistake if we think we can talk about the economy in isolation from politics. So I'm one of those economists that recognizes and understands that the word political economy is what we actually deal with on a day-to-day basis, and thinking of the economics devoid of politics, or even the ways in which we divide people into deserving and undeserving, is a mistake and not actual.
So I want to also go to this idea of tariffs, right? Now, I would not say that the United States is the most sort of economically educated country on the face of the planet, but it seems pretty clear that everybody from top to bottom says that tariffs are a bad idea. Just from a policy standpoint, would an incoming administration even be able to implement tariffs that quickly? Would they require a vote of Congress? Could Trump implement tariffs just by executive order? Like, how would this even be done despite all the bluster and threats from the incoming administration?
Yeah, the politics of it, I'm not positive of. I mean, we've certainly seen Donald Trump is not afraid to use power, and will use power in ways at his disposal that are conventional as well as unconventional, so we should certainly take it serious. And you're right, the manner in which he's talking about tariffs, the breadth and the depth in which he plans on implementing tariffs is unprecedented. It is also protectionist. And then, I would say, what are two things? I would think about two other things. One, why is it that he can promote such a policy? And to me, I think it is a bipartisan, long economy that's got us here to this point in a context of globalization, where he can, as I mentioned earlier, Donald Trump operates by weaponizing difference. So, when he talks about tariffs, he's exploiting difference, and that has saliency with some people. He appeals to the base of us, but then here's how that appeal resonates. It's because we have had a bipartisan long economy that has led to the despair, the vulnerability by which he can exploit. So one of the things we absolutely need to do is provide alternatives. So a better way to think about the American economy in this globalized world is we should think about not protectionism, but broad labor standards. We should think about workers, not just in the United States, but abroad as well, which will give our businesses better purview by which to operate on a more fair cost basis. And it's the more humane thing to do. And it'll help our immigration policy. If we're worried about people coming to the United States, well, they're chasing jobs. They're chasing jobs that have been exploited and captured by the United States. And doubling down with tariffs will only lead to more global destabilization that's inhumane, that's costly for us, and then also facilitate someone like Donald Trump. And by the way, as I'm trying to describe, he's a symptom that's able to weaponize difference and appeal to the base amongst us.
So I want to say this really quickly, get your thoughts on this. Yes, one, we have a system that has sort of routinely marginalized and disenfranchised labor. The other role that many of us play in life is we're also consumers. And the incoming administration, the Washington Post is reporting that Elon Musk is threatening the CFPB. They're trying to get rid of financial watchdogs that keep people from being scammed by banks, keep people from being exploited financially. Just speak quickly about how dangerous it is to remove the safeguards that protect us, not just as labor, we've seen that for 40 years, but that protect us as consumers. What's the negative impact of that? Because it seems very real.
Yeah, and begin with the immorality of it. But then as you're leading with the question, it leaves us vulnerable to end up in another recession. Your previous guest had it right that we got to fight, that the status quo should not prevail. We can fight back. It is our economy. It is our government. And we get to do things and have agency to have a different course, a different pathway.
Derek Hamilton, thank you so much for joining us this evening on The Beat.